In this video, we're exploring a powerful feature for advanced custom fields, bidirectional relationships. Now I'm going to break this video down into three different sections. Section 1, what are bidirectional relationships? Section 2, how we go about building them and implement them using advanced custom fields. And then section 3, we're going to take a look at outputting these using Bricks Builder. However, if you just want to know how to use them and how to build them, you can skip the third part if that's of no interest. All timestamps are in the description down below. So imagine you're working on a real estate site with properties and estate agents. With bidirectional relationships, you can link each property listing to the agent representing it. And on the flip side, each agent's profile can show all the properties that they handle. This setup keeps your content seamlessly connected. And in this tutorial, we're going to go through all the stages you need to set things up for yourself. So before we move on to actually building them, let's take a real world example of how this is set up and working so you can see from both the front end and also the back end so you get a better understanding of how this all works. So if we take a look at this example site, if we scroll down, we've got a property with all the details and description. We've also got the agent details. We've got the agent themselves, their name, the company they work for, the company details, and so on. If we click, for example, on the agent, you can see this gives us the bio of the agent. We've also got the properties that they list. You kind of get the idea. If we jump into the dashboard and take a look at an individual property, if we look at the custom fields on the right-hand side, if we scroll down, you can see we've got the property agent. This is where we can connect the agent to the actual property itself. Now, because it's bidirectional, if we go and take a look at an agent and we scroll down, you can see the agent properties. So no matter which way we want to work, we can set up either inside the agent themselves and connect them to a property, or we can connect a property to an agent, hence the bidirectional term. So now we've seen how this actually works. Let's go and take a look at stage 2, how to build it for yourself. So this second stage is all about building this using ACF or Advanced Custom Fields. So I'm in the dashboard of WordPress. We're going to come over to the Advanced Custom Fields section and open up our field groups. Now I've already created several field groups, things like the agent's details. We've also got the property details and so on, but there are no bidirectional relationships set up at all. So let's start off with the property details. We'll click and open this up and we'll add a new field in. From here, we're going to choose the field type. So we'll search for relationship and we'll choose the option from the list. We'll give this a name. So this is the property details. So we're going to call this property to agent just to make sense. We're connecting the property to the agent. We'll click in the field name. It'll automatically fill that out for us. But if you want to change this, you can do. Then we take filter post types. So this is the property. We want to connect it to the agent. So the filter post type, we need agent. Then we've got the filter by post status. If you want to, you can set this so only particular post statuses will show up when it comes to connecting these two together. So you can see we've got published, scheduled, draft, and so on. So you may only want published agents to be available to be connected using this bidirectional relationship. In this example, I don't mind. We want everything to be connectable. Taxonomies, not going to touch it at all. And then what we're going to do is we can choose the filters, how you actually want to display the connection field. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If we take a look at the properties, you can see in our example, we've got this search option. So this is just basically saying how it's going to be displayed inside the dashboard of WordPress. So for this example, we'll uncheck these filters and we'll simply leave it as search. We'll leave the return format as post object, and that should be perfectly fine. The other thing we need to do is tell it now that this relationship is a bidirectional relationship, not just a standard relationship, which is just one way. So to do that, we simply come over to Advanced and we enable the bidirectional option. Now at this point in time, we can't pick a target field because this is only set up on one half of the bidirectional setup. Hope this is making sense. So if we click inside there, no results are going to be found. We can remedy that right now. Let's save this. And we've created one half of our bidirectional relationship. This is for the property. So now we're going to go back to ACF, to our field groups, and this time we're going to open up our agent details. So open this up. You can see there's the details for our estate agent, their name, and so on. So we're going to add a new field in. Like we did before, we're going to expand this and we'll search for relationship. Choose that from the list. This time we're going to connect it the opposite way around. So this is going to be agent to property. Again, the field name will automatically populate, but again, you can if you want to change it. Filter by post type. This time we want this to connect to the property. So we're going to choose property from the list. Again, we're not going to change the post status. We'll leave that as it is. We're going to come down, uncheck these options. So we've got search and leave the return format as post object. Jump over to advanced, choose bidirectional. But now, because we've done the second half, we can click inside here and there's our property to agent, which is what we set up in the first part. So we'll choose that from our list. We'll save this. And now we'll go back into ACF one more time. Open up our property details again. Come back down to our property agent, which is our initial relationship, and open this up to edit it. Come into advanced. So now we can choose the target field. Open this up and there's our agent to property. Just so you don't get confused, it tells us the property to agent is this field. So we don't accidentally connect it to itself, which is cool. Say agent to property, click save changes, and we've created that bi-directional relationship. Now I know this is probably a little confusing to start off with, and it could have been done in a much easier way, maybe a much more visual fashion from advanced custom fields, which would be nice so you can literally see how the connections are working to each other and not just a simple drop-down list. Unfortunately, that's what we're working with right now. So as long as you're organized in how you name things, this side of things should be relatively straightforward. So now we've created this bi-directional relationship. Let's go and take a look at, for example, our properties and how we can connect that to our agent. So we'll come into our properties. Go to all properties and we'll open up capital views. Now if we take a look on the right hand side, under our property details, we've got our property to agent. And now we can choose the agent that's associated with this particular property. So we'll say Dave Davidson is the agent for this property. Let's save that. And now we've added that connection. Now let's see if that's working correctly on the other side. Let's go to Dave Davidson. So we'll come into our agents, open up Dave's profile. Look at the agent details now on the right hand side and you can see that the agent property, they're connected to capital views. Let's choose a different one. Let's say we want Forest Villa. We'll add that to them. So now they are representing both capital views and Forest Villa. We'll save this, hop back out, take a look at our properties this time, open up Forest Villa, take a look at our property details. And there we go. Dave Davidson is the person that's actually selling this particular property. There's our bi-directional relationship all set up. So if you don't want to know how to move on and do this with Bricks Builder in the third part, you can skip and drop it now. But if you are interested, stick around because we're going to see how easy Bricks makes this to connect everything inside our templates. So the third and final step is all about connecting this data inside our templates or our pages. And for this, we're going to be using Bricks Builder. So I've already created a template for the single property. And as you can see on the right-hand side, we've got a template piece set up specifically to hold the information about the agent selling this particular property. So we need to use that connection, that bi-directional relationship we've just created in Advanced Custom Fields to be able to display the information. What we're going to do is we're going to select this agent block over on the right-hand side. And this is the important part because this is where we're going to set a custom loop up. Now this might sound a bit strange, a custom loop where you've got one person here, but this is the way that Bricks works and allows us to create these connections. So with that selected, we're going to come over to the query loop option on the left-hand side and expand it. Then we're going to choose the query loop option. Drop this down and then we've got the type. Let's expand this a little bit so you can see a bit better. We've got our type. Now at the moment this says posts. If we drop that down, you see all the usual culprits are here like posts, terms, users, and so on. But we also have these ACF relationships. This is the two sides of our ACF bi-directional relationship. So for this example, we want to grab the relationship between the property to the agent. We'll select that from the list. And now you'll see that updates in real time to show us Dave Davidson. So now let's go and take a look at this on the front end to make sure that everything is working as expected. And as we can see, Dave Davidson is connected to this Forest Villa property. Let's just go and change that now and apply someone else and see to make sure that everything is working correctly. So let's change it from Dave Davidson. We'll remove him and we'll say Margaret Pennington has now taken over selling the Forest Villa property. Again, let's save this, come back into our test page and refresh. And we see Margaret Pennington is now selling this particular property. So this is just the basics of how you can connect this bi-directional relationship up inside Advanced Custom Fields, but also how you can use Bricks to be able to natively control this and display it how you want. There's so much further you could go. For example, you can see at the moment we've only got the property connected to the agent and vice versa. We don't have the agent connected to the company they work for. To do that, we follow exactly the same principle, and then we could use that data to display the things like the agency name, the office telephone number, and so on. Now, I'll be releasing a masterclass that'll take you through the whole build of everything you see here. If you want to be notified about that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I will be creating a live stream and a video talking about that when it's ready to be released. Now, if you want to learn more about working with Bricks Builder and some of the more advanced things you can do with advanced custom fields, check out this playlist next. As always, all applicable links are in the description down below. My name is Paul C. This is WPTuts. Until next time, take care.